Hello, Blue Door. Nikki here. I am going to record this video for you to help you with your writing this week. This week, the BD1's, your writing assignment is to write a fantasy book. We are going to learn all about how to write a fantasy story. Fantasy is something that is make-believe. It is a fiction-based book. It is not real life. So, in your packet this week, I sent home quite a few papers, but these papers are going to look different. They're not the papers that I usually send home. Usually, you get a planning page, and then you get a title page, and you get 3 to 4 blank pages with writing lines to create your book. This week, I sent home something different, and you might look at it and you might be confused. So I'm hoping that this video helps you get started on your writing, and I hope that it explains what's inside this packet because it's going to look a little bit different. But I also hope that's kind of exciting because I had a feeling that a lot of the BD1 students would really enjoy writing a fantasy book. And I know that when I gave you like free choice time, or when I give you the option to write a book about whatever you want, a lot of times you chose to write a fantasy book. So I don't think that this will be the first fantasy book that you've written, but we are going to go over some of the strategies you can use to create your fantasy book. Okay, so in your packet, you will see a few pages, and this is what the first page is. There's a superhero, there's a fairy, there's a princess, there's a monster, there's a picture of a unicorn. Now, on this page, there are some words about fantasy stories and noticings. What are some things about fantasy stories? These are make-believe stories. They are magical places. Magical things happen. Animals might act like humans. Animals might wear clothes. There might be monsters, aliens, or even a dinosaur. Animals might be extinct in real life. So, like dinosaurs are extinct. But in your fantasy book, you might make a book all about dinosaurs. And they might be alive. They might wear clothes. You could be whatever you want. There can be events that can't happen in real life. And the story might be funny. So these are some things you should think about before you write your fantasy book. And before we start writing, I want you to think about what you want to write about and imagine it in your head first, right? So we always think about what we want to write about first, and then we can start to touch the page, think about it, touch the page, and then start to plan what your book's going to be about. Okay, so these are some helpful tips about how to get started, and these are some things that will help you remember what a fantasy story should be, right? It should be a make-believe character. It should be a make-believe magical place, okay? So the next page looks like this. This is what I want you to work on today, okay? This says, fantasy writing brainstorming. Here, this is where you're going to think about your characters. Who are your magical, make-believe, fantasy characters going to be? Where is your setting going to take place? Or what is your setting going to be? What is the problem? And this says other ideas, okay? So think about what you might want to write about. Who are the characters? Where is it taking place? What's the problem in the story? And what are some other ideas? This is just a brainstorm. A brainstorm is just to help you get your thoughts and ideas down on paper. And Blue Door friends, you can draw a picture. You can write a few words. You don't have to write a few words. You can draw pictures. But this is for you to help you when it comes time for you to write your story. So if you draw pictures, make sure you draw pictures where you're going to remember, oh yeah, that was my character. He was a monster named Fred. You can write the name Fred, or you can just remember, oh, his name was Fred. I remember in my head. So this is for you to help you, okay? Okay, next page. Your fantasy planner. I also want you to work on this today. Today or tomorrow. Today or tomorrow. Today is Monday. You can work on it today. You can work on it on Tuesday. But Wednesday, when we Zoom and have our writing lesson, I want you to have this piece of paper and this piece of paper kind filled out so that we can hear what your fantasy story is going to be about. On this page, you have 6 boxes. The first box is asking you to draw or write your main character. Who is your main character going to be? The setting, where and when. So if your setting is in the middle of the ocean, draw the middle of the ocean. And when is it taking place? Is it taking place in the daytime? Is it taking place in the nighttime? Is it taking place now? Is it taking place in the future? This is your book. Think about it and write it and draw it. The villain. What does the villain mean? Who is the villain? The villain is like the bad guy. Is there a bad guy in your story? Or is there a character in your story who kind of causes trouble? So if there is, then you're going to draw a picture of your villain here. Important events. What's happening in your book? Now, is there a birthday party in your book? Is there a, I don't know, is there a celebration? Is there a trip to the moon? Is there a trip to a different universe? It's up to you. But the reader, that's going to be me, and that's going to be your mom, your dad, and your Blue Door classmates. We need to know, what are the important events in your book? That's going to go right there. What's the problem? I don't know, maybe someone's rocket ship gets stolen. Maybe the dinosaur in your story gets locked in a basement. I don't know. You need to tell us, what's the problem in your story? What's the solution? His best friend, the catacorn, gets him out of the basement. I don't know. That could be a possibility. You'll write that there. Okay. That's what I want you to work on. And then in your packet, you still have more papers. I want to go over them, okay? If you finish these 2 things quickly, or if you're like, I know exactly what I want my book to be about, you fill in the boxes and you're ready to move on and you want to keep going, you can keep going if you want. The next page looks like this. It says, create a magical world. This is what we're going to work on Wednesday, but if you want to start it before Wednesday, go for it, okay? Create a magical world. Close your eyes and imagine what your world looks like and draw a picture. I haven't really thought about my fantasy book yet, but what I would do is I would close my eyes. I would think about where I want my setting to take place, and I would imagine what it looks like. And then I would draw it on this page, in this square right here, rectangle I mean, right here. Use words to tell about your setting. Try your best. Try your best. Try your best to write a few words about your picture. So if your picture is a disco party on the moon, then you can try to write disco party on the moon. Try your best. Sound out the words you hear, or sound out the words and try your best to write them, okay? And what adjectives can you use to help readers see your setting? That's a big word. We have not really gone over what that means. An adjective means it's like a descriptive word. That is something that we've gone over in Blue Door. Instead of saying the dinosaur went to a disco party on the moon, you can say the green, shiny, glittery dinosaur went to a disco party on the glow-in-the-dark moon. Those are some adjective words you can use, like glow-in-the-dark moon. It helps us visualize that it's not just the moon. It's not just the moon, it's a glow-in-the-dark moon. Or instead of just talking about your dinosaur, you can use adjectives like the green, sparkly dinosaur, and that will help the readers really imagine that dinosaur. And it really spices up your writing. Instead of it being, which is fine, you're just saying, the dinosaur went to a party on the moon. You saying, the green, sparkly dinosaur went to a disco party on the glow-in-the-dark moon. It really, all of a sudden, spices up your writing and makes your writing a lot of fun. And that'll also help you draw and illustrate, because then you know, oh yeah, I gotta draw this, I gotta color in this dinosaur sparkly green, and I gotta make the moon look like it's glowing in the dark, and I gotta draw a shiny bright disco ball. Okay, so work on that also, Blue Door friends. And then this is a cool page. See, it's different, right? Usually you don't get pages mixed in there, but this helps you with some words. It says fantastic words you can use: abracadabra, adventure, bewitch, cast, dazzle, enchanted, fairy, giant, hero. You can use some of these words. You don't have to, and you might have to ask a parent for help, or you can try to sound them out and read them on your own. It's up to you, but you don't have to use this if you want. It's just here. I thought it'd be fun to include it in case you wanted some ideas for words to use in your book. We have another page. This page is talking about your characters. Draw a picture to show your main character. And what are maybe some words to describe your character? So if it's that green sparkly dinosaur, you could write green sparkly dinosaur. Or if your green sparkly dinosaur was like the world's best dancer, you could write world's best dancer. I think I know what I'm going to write my story about now. My story is going to be about a green sparkly dinosaur who is the world's best dancer, who throws a party on the moon, on the glow-in-the-dark moon, and it's not just any party, it's a disco party. Whoop! That's my story right there. I just came up with it. So maybe that will help you come up with yours. But think about your main character. Think about the words you're going to use to describe your main character. And on this page, it is asking you to use some fantastic words that will describe your setting. So you'll draw a picture and you'll write some words. So for my setting, where's my book taking place? On the moon, but not just the moon, it's the glow-in-the-dark moon. So I'm going to write disco party on, well, maybe I'll just write on the moon, on the glow-in-the-dark moon, and I'll draw a picture. Okay, and all the other pages are just for you to check your writing. So really, all your writing is this week, it's a planning page. It just looks a little bit different than usual. You're planning out your characters, your setting, your problem, other ideas, and then you're planning out some of those things in more detail, and then you're talking about your character, you're talking about your setting. That's about it. And then these other pages in here, you can have an adult help you read them, but it's asking you to not forget these important things. Did you capitalize the beginning of a sentence? Did you capitalize names of people, pets, or other creatures? Let's see, and this one right here is a little checklist, but there's lots of them. So you can cut them out if you want and use them for future books. We also have, let's see, a few other fun things. Congratulations, author! You wrote your book. So you can write your name. It says, congratulations, author. I could write my name. Nikki is a fantastic fantasy writer. You can write the date. Your mom and dad can write their names there because they're being your teachers right now at home. And that is it, my friends. So have fun with this. Take a brain break if you need to. Have fun. Know that drawing pictures and labeling your drawings and trying to spell words, it's really good, and you're doing a great job. And I know this is all really different, and writing especially is really hard to do at home. And I wish that we could be together and that we could do it together, but we just can't right now. So be positive, try your best. You can always start off writing with your golden thumbs and tell yourself, I am a writer. I am an author. I write books. I try my best and I don't give up. Okay, try your best. Don't give up. Have fun. These books are supposed to be really fun. Have fun with it. Think of your story. I can't wait to hear what you're writing about on Wednesday during our writing Zoom. Okay, Blue Door. Love you very much. Peace. Talk to you soon. See you on Wednesday during our writing Zoom at 1 o'clock. I think it's at 1 o'clock. Yep. Okay, Blue Door. Talk to you soon. Bye. Have fun.